All right, I'm here with Grayson Truslow, and we're going to talk about Ivan Balabanov's course, certification course. And Grayson and I met. It was kind of a rocky start, and we're gonna talk about that too. But the first thing, what I want to do, congratulate him because he just found out that he passed the certification. He passed Ivan's written test, practical exams, which is a big thing. There's not a lot of people who have done this, and you are officially I'm certified. How does that feel?
It feels great, man, and I appreciate it. It's been, man. I guess the course started in January or February, so it's been 8 months of learning and implementing the stuff, and that's one of the coolest things I think about this course is that there's a ton of knowledge that you have to have, but on top of the knowledge, Ivan makes sure that you can actually implement that knowledge. It's not just that, hey, you pass this test, which is not easy, by the way. It takes a lot of studying, but the fact that he makes sure that you can actually go out into the world with real dogs and implement these concepts. And so, I mean, it was challenging, but I'm proud of myself for getting through it.
Yeah, it's a really big deal. And I remember the weekend we were up there together, and I remember you raising your hand a lot, and you spoke a lot. I remember I was like, man, this guy knows it. He gets it. He's gonna pass this test. And not only that, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good with dogs, and that's what this is really about. You know what I mean? It's about being the best you can possibly be. Let's kind of start. We're gonna talk about the course. There's people out there that they always messaging me and stuff, and they want to know about this course. So we're gonna talk about that. But first of all, let's get into how you and I first met. What happened? How did you and I first start to meet?
Yeah, so to just give kind of a short backstory, I started working with dogs probably 5 years ago or so. It started with dog walking and dog sitting, and it's sort of like with a lot of people, it naturally turned into dog training eventually. I started working with a pretty big company. I got trained up with them and learned their way of doing things, and I felt pretty quickly that I was missing a lot. I was struggling with a lot of basic stuff, and things just weren't clicking for me. Things weren't going well. So I started my search to try to figure out other ways to train and things that I might not know, or techniques or whatever. And I mean, that led me down a road that a lot of people go down, and I wish it wasn't the case, but you end up on YouTube, and you end up on Instagram and Facebook, and you're watching every technique under the sun and trying it, and most of the time it doesn't work. And but in that search, I started hearing Ivan's name pop up, and so I sort of looked into his stuff. Ended up hearing about other trainers who had worked with him. I had even studied with a trainer that had worked with him some, and I liked that, but I still felt like I needed more. I don't remember exactly how I stumbled on your stuff. I actually think that I was listening to a YouTube video of another trainer who mentioned your name. And so I looked you up. I found your stuff on YouTube, your stuff on Facebook. And so I sent Matt a message, and I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was something along the lines of basically, I will pay you, I will work for free, I'll clean up dog poop. I'll do whatever it is if you just show me how you're doing these things. And, I felt like that was a pretty good bargain. And Matt was just like, hey, I appreciate it, but you don't need to learn this stuff from me. You need to learn this stuff from the guy that I learned it from. And then he mentioned Ivan Balabanov's name, and I'd heard that name before. And but I was still a little frustrated, right? I mean, you weren't mean about it or anything, but I was like, hey, I'm offering to pay this guy, and he doesn't want to show me, or maybe he's trying to keep the secrets, or who knows what it was. And but you said, listen, you need just learn from him. And yeah, I mean, I was frustrated, but I was pretty determined at that point, because it was basically, I either figured out something or I was going to quit, because I just was not having a good time training dogs anymore. It wasn't fun. I wasn't having a lot of success, and I just felt burnout and frustrated. And so that's how we met. You want me to go into just like beyond that of taking the course? Or
Yeah. Let me say, I kind of remember, because you were nice, and you said that you wanted to come and learn, and I said no to you, and I said the reason why is that you should learn it from the source. And there's a lot of people out there that see videos, and they'll see Ivan stuff, and then they go and teach Ivan stuff, and it's all wrong, and I had spent a lot of time with him already, but that doesn't qualify me to teach his stuff, and you need to get it from the source. And I remember you were a little pissed at me, you know what I mean? You were coming back at me and stuff, and I was like, look, man, I'm trying to do you a favor. Right. And you didn't understand it. And then I remember you said that you signed up for the course, and we hadn't spoken yet, but I saw you in the group. I was in the group too. And it was a little weird at first, and then we kind of, we messaged and stuff like that. And then I remember when you realized that the reason I did it and why. Talk about that. Like right.
Yeah. So finally, I was like a little frustrated about it, but I said, you know what, I'm just going to take this course, because if this guy can do the things that he's doing with the dogs that he's getting, then there's something there. And so I took all the savings that I had. I even borrowed a little bit of money, and I just signed up for the course. I just winged it. I think that's how you'd say that, winged it. And it started off, and even in the beginning of the course, there's so much information, and it's like, there's this, and not to get off track, but there's this world of instant gratification of like, I want everything and I want it right now. Amazon, Netflix, Starbucks, you name it. We're just so used to that. And even me, I try not to be like that, but I was. And I was like, man, there's so much technical information, and we're learning the science and the history and all this stuff. And I'm like, good God, it was like learning or drinking from a fire hose. And then one day we hit a certain point in the course, and I was like, oh my God, I get it now. And there's no amount of you and I sitting around talking, or me with dogs, a leash in my hand or anything, that would have gotten me the knowledge that I got from the course and the way that it's set up.
Yeah, the courses takes you from the beginning to the end, and it's logical, and it makes sense, and there's steps, and like I said before, I had already spent in 6 years hundreds of hours with Ivan, and I learned a tremendous amount. But it was not laid out like the course is, and there's a ton of things in that course that I had never seen, because when you go to see him with workshops and stuff like that, you see bits and pieces and stuff, and it's really, really tremendous. And I had watched the possession games, chase and catch, the out, the puppy stuff, and those videos are all prerequisites in this course. So when you sign up for this course, you get those videos, and you have to watch them before the course starts. And I watched them all, and I'd been to him and stuff. And then you take the course, and you're like, wow, a lot of things that I thought were not correct, or half right, and I was picking things up, and it's like anybody, if you've watched possession games and you watch and this and that, and then you take this course, then you go back and you watch those, you're going to be like, wow. Like those videos will help you a tremendous amount without this course, but then you watch the course and you go back and you're like, holy shit,
Yeah, it's
And there is
crazy.
so
Yeah.
much more here that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was just saying, I had possession games before I took the course, and you're right. I mean, that alone. I mean, the difference between what I was doing before I had that video and after I had that video. I mean, there was a difference. I mean,
Yep.
I learned a lot of cool stuff, but that and plus also the one thing I want to say, it's piggybacking off of what you said, is once you get all the information towards the end of the course, then you're getting the practical view, and the practical view was what I wanted the whole time through the course. But thank goodness that it was at the end, because had I seen the training in action before everything else, I wouldn't have known what I was looking at. But really, in a way, but the way that it's set up is I mean, it's as close to perfect as can be. I mean, you watch once you have all that information, then you watch Ivan work dogs, or you watch one of his videos, like you're saying. Now you have the whys to the how, and it's I mean, it's unbelievable.
Ivan always says that he can train a dog right in front of you, and you are not going to have any idea what he's doing, and that is absolutely true. And it's not like you can watch him train a dog and steal secrets, because you're not going to get it. You know what I mean? And then you take this course, and then you watch him train the dogs, and you're like, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on there. You know what I mean? And he's just a master. And yeah, they really put into the course at the right times to show him training some dogs and stuff. You know what I mean? And it really comes together nicely. You know what I mean? It's really tremendous. Yeah. So what about you as far as going through the course? How do you feel afterwards, as far as like your overall understanding and ability to train dogs and your business? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's one thing that I do want to say right off the bat to anybody that's interested in the course is if you're worried about the price of the course or whatever. I'm not just saying this. I mean, I could, if you want me to pull up like bank statements, this and that, whatever, you can. I made back what I put into that course. First of all, before it was even done, and now that it's done and I have a pretty good understanding, it's light years away from what my financial position was before. And I really truly owe that to the course, because now when I do a consultation, not even the training, we'll get to the training part, but just doing the consultation, I know the questions to ask. I know what to look for. I'm confident when somebody asks me, hey, do you know how to deal with this? Or can we work on that? Whether it be the basics, like, recalls and leash walking and stuff that every trainer does, I can confidently say, yes, I know how, and I know why what I do works. And training, not only am I successful now, but it's fun. And it's not just fun for me, it's fun for the dog, it's fun for the owner. There's really nothing I could say to do justice how much it's changed my professional life, my personal life, my financial life. I like training dogs now. I mean, if that's something that anybody's struggling with out there, I can assure you that if you take this course, you will be successful at training dogs, and you will like it again. I mean, that's such a big thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I look at things now, and the confidence that I have, and I know one of the really nice things about this course is that he walks you through in the end how to approach a client, what to ask, how to get the facts out, the history, how to determine where you can go with each individual dog, how to have a plan, and how to go about this. And you walk into it knowing exactly what you're supposed to do. And it's not a step-by-step approach. It's a real conceptual approach. And but you understand how to go about this. And then I know how to train a dog, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know how to get this done. and and the one thing I want to bring up here too before I forget, people think that Ivan does what everyone else does, but he's just better at it, right? Like he's doing 4 quadrants and he's really good at it. You know what I mean? And one of the huge things in this course is that that's not what it is, that it's a totally different approach. And it's really based on the emotions of a dog, and 4 quadrants is part of it, of course, but it goes way above and beyond 4 quadrants.
Right.
And people don't understand that. And it's not like you take this course and you're going to learn some cool techniques. You're going to learn a totally different approach to dogs, to training them, to relationships. And it radically changed the way I do everything. You know, it is not based on getting behaviors from reinforcement and punishment, you know, and that's a mind-blowing event for people who go through this course. When they come into this, like they think they know how to train a dog, and they can get dogs to do some behaviors. They can get sits and they can get downs and they can do this, and they just think they're going to get better, or maybe they're going to learn some behavior stuff or aggression stuff, because Ivan's unbelievable with that stuff too. But then they get into it and they're like, holy shit, like this is a totally different approach, you know? And that's something for me that's hard to get across to anybody, because until you experience it, you don't know what that is. You know, he doesn't use toys as a reinforcer like everyone uses food. It's a totally different approach. Right. So yeah, that's something that really changed everything for me. And it makes it training these dogs fun. And the cool thing is, clients come to me and I know what to say to them. I explain this approach to them, and man, they're like, yeah, that's what I want for my dog. You know, they don't want their dog just you know, suppressed or just the way everyone else does it. You know, once you explain to this, you're so different from everyone else's approach, and they're just like, yeah, I want that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I mean, and that's what's really cool there. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, what I was going to say is the coolest thing about it is, and it's almost hard to believe, is that it's a way of training that the owner wants, a way of training that is fun for the owner, fun for the dog. But not only that, but it works. Like, it works exceptionally well. It's not like this situation where it's like, oh, we're just going to go out and play with the dog and have fun and whatever. But then when it comes down to the nitty gritty stuff, you know, we got to do this and this. No, I mean, it's all encompassing. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It gives you a relationship with your dog that means something, and it works.
Yeah, that's something that's huge for me. I like you know, the type of dogs that I deal with and stuff like that, and you know, the stuff has to work. Right. And it seems like training has gone down this path of to be able to get real results with some of these dogs. People are doing harsh things. Right. And they're doing a lot of suppression, and they're just destroying these dogs. And Ivan is just proof that you don't need to do that. There's a better way, that you can have a dog. The emotions of that dog always comes first, and they're happy as hell, and relationship's great. The dogs are free. The dogs, you know, love it. But you have results, and you have control. And when you call your dog, it comes, and it's walks on a leash, nice and stuff like that. It's a very different dog. So it isn't just that you either have a happy dog that you don't have any control of, or you really got to put you got to put the screws down on this dog. That's not it, man. There is another way. And once you get away from 4 quadrants and everything, it happens through punishment and reinforcement. Once you can let go of that and understand that there's a totally different way, that's when the magic, and no magic exists, but closest thing you're ever going to see.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is Ivan working with a dog? You know what I mean? It's
and that's something I want to add too, is, I mean, the course as a whole is exceptional. But one thing that surprised the heck out of me is that the weekend that we had is something I always tell people too, is that as if it was even possible, I learned so much just in those couple days. What was it, 3 days we were there? In that short period of time, I learned so much because I had all the knowledge. Like you said, when people go to the seminars, right, and they don't have the background of the course and the information, and they may pick up a few things, or they think they pick up a few things, or whatever, but they're kind of like watching magic, right? It's hard to pick up what's going on. But you take that course and the knowledge from the course, and then you get in front of Ivan, which everybody who does the course has the option to do that with the trainers weekend. It's unbelievable because you can see in person watching it happen, and it's a beautiful thing to watch him work a dog, but you know what he's doing. And it's just cool. I could go on and on and on about it and all the cool things about it, but it's just worth it to do if you train dogs, or if you have a dog. Honestly, I mean, you're not going to find this stuff anywhere else.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm a recluse and I kind of hide, and everybody knows. But I have friends in this group, and there's a common bond there. You and I, right before this call, we're discussing a dog, and there's a Facebook group, and everybody discusses, their cases and dogs and this and that. And what I'm excited about is in December, we have the retreat, I think it's called, or whatever it is. But everybody certified is gonna go to his place, and I don't know how many days it is, but I'm gonna go there, and you're gonna see some trainers doing this stuff, like-minded, doing the stuff, bringing dogs and stuff, and you're gonna see Ivan's gonna talk and do stuff. But man, I'm really excited to go to a group of trainers who we all get along, and there's no issues, and really get to learn again, man. And every time you get in front of him, it's just unbelievable the amount, man. I follow that guy around whenever I'm up there, man. I'm like within an earshot, you know what I mean? Because you never know what this guy's going to say, and I remember the first seminar I was up there, and we started, I don't know, at 8 a.m. or whatever it was. And we went, and it went till 2 a.m.
Wow.
Some people left at 6 or whatever, and you gotta be a fool. This guy staying. I'm going to stay. We cooked out and everything, and I remember the things I saw on that field from like midnight to 2 a.m. You know what I mean? And then this guy is up 6 a.m. next day. Let's go. This is what this guy is. You know what I mean? He's a machine. Right. It's really exciting for me. And like I said, I mean, I stay home and I'm with dogs and this and that, but I'm excited to go there. And the retreat's going to be really, really, really cool. And the community he's built is really nice. I talked to a lot of people from that. We message, we talk about the dogs and stuff, and the amount of information that goes back and forth now. And then if there's a question, you go into the Facebook group and you can ask and stuff, and it's just really, really nice. I'm not sure if you're going to go to that one December.
Yeah, I'm going to go. And you're right, and that's the thing about this industry more than a lot of industries is that there's a lot of infighting, and there's a lot of differing opinions, and things can get heated sometimes. I think if you're a dog trainer and you're on Facebook or you're on any kind of social media, you always find yourself in some sort of a dog training group, right? And as somebody who's seeking knowledge, you can feel it. Like if you ask a question in one of those, or somebody asks a question, it's hard to trust what you're getting because it's just a big public group of people, and everybody's got differing opinions, and you just don't even know what to look at. It's information overload. But the value of having those of us who've passed the course in one little community where we can ask questions, and you can know that everybody in that course, or everybody in that online community, has taken the same course as you. They've watched Ivan's lectures. They've been with him in person, and so you can feel assured that you're going to end up on the right track. If you do have a problem or you run into a roadblock or whatever, you know that everybody's on the same page and everybody is willing to help. And I mean, that's invaluable in its own, right.
Yeah. It's different, you know what I mean? Like, trainers always take offense, whatever you say, like if you say, I do this, it works. Well, that means what I do doesn't work. It's like, it's just crazy world. And in the group, it's really, really nice that you can post stuff, put stuff up, and you're not going to get attacked. You're going to get answers that are blunt. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I love about this too. Ivan's very blunt. He doesn't dance around it and this and that. He'll tell you, no, that's a complete mess, or that's just the way he is. When you go out in the field with him, you know what I mean? You're gonna find out how much you really don't know about dogs.
Right.
The internet's very, very easy to be a superstar. Go out on that field with him, and then you see who can really train a dog. And I've seen trainers that are very good go out on the field with him, and they learn a lesson. You know what I mean? It's like, jiu-jitsu, you do that. I trained for years and stuff like that. And the cool thing about jiu-jitsu and those kind of arts is you very quickly know who's for real, what the levels are, because you roll. You go out and you roll. And with the dogs and stuff, there's just a lot of talk. There's just a lot of YouTube. There's a lot of stuff, and nobody rolls, and nobody spars. You know what I mean? Yeah. But when you go to his place, you spar. Bring a dog out there. Bring a dog out there, and I mean, I've been out on that field with him a lot, and every time I go out there, I'm like, making peace signs and stuff like that, because you're gonna get chewed, and I come from that world where I coach too, and coaches in these sports, there's a lot of, I was used to that, like he's like, what the hell are you doing that for? And some people don't like that, but he's really, and the one thing I really like about him is, if he sees you ever doing anything to a dog that you shouldn't do to a dog, you're gone. Right. You are absolutely gone. He'll throw you off the field. You will not come back there. He told us in the class, one of the first things he, like he said, was, if I ever find out that, you're doing something to dogs that you shouldn't be doing to dogs, I will cut ties with you immediately, and you're done. Right. And that's a really, really important thing. That guy loves dogs. And
I think that's where that bluntness comes from, is because it's like everybody's, nervous to call somebody out or to point something out for fear of hurting people's feelings. But he cares so much about the dogs that it's like, look, your feelings are going to have to wait on this one, because the dog's more important, and they are, and they should be. They should, and I mean, that's something that's rampant in general with dog training, is that egos are getting in the way of helping dogs, and Ivan is the exact opposite of that, I think.
Yeah, he teaches you in a way. He's won the world championship twice. And everything he does is that level. When you learn from him, it is the ultimate best technique, the best way to do things. And when you're out on the field with him, you have to perform like you're going to go to Worlds, right? Because it doesn't make any sense to deal with a dog to do something that kind of gets results,
right? When
there is a much better way to do it, and he always pushes you like I've been out there in the field with him and we're doing competition heel, and he's like, man, that's a really nice, but you'll lose a half a point for this little thing there. So but you got to fix that. Right. And most people are like, the dog is walking next to you, it's looking at you, and everything's nice and everything looks good. And he's like, man, look at that.
Yeah.
You gotta fix that. And that's why he's so good, though. And when you approach things in that way, you become incredible. Cool. So we're kind of getting to the end here. I'm getting old, and I gotta shut this down. But anything else to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out before I got cut out there was something I was thinking about, and it's worth saying is that you were mentioning that Ivan takes precision very seriously. Obviously, he's a world champion, but I do just want to point out that it doesn't matter what kind of dog trainer you are, what kind of dogs you work with. I've never done any IGP, Schutzen dog sports. I just haven't, right? I right now I train pet dogs. I have aspirations, but right now what I do is a lot of pet owners, and you have your specialty, and there's a gamut of different kinds of trainers within the course that we took and the courses previous to that. I think that's just something important to point out, is it doesn't matter what kind of dogs you train. If you train dogs, you will benefit immensely from this course.
Yeah, there's a big misunderstanding that Ivan is just the sport dog guy, the IGP guy, Schutzen guy, and Ivan is the dog guy. He rehabilitated pit bulls in San Francisco, SPCA. He ran their training and everything in the 90s. You know what I mean? Seeing eye dogs, guide dogs for the blind, and that kinds of stuff. Search dogs and everything. He's done it all, and it's like the pet dog stuff. Like when I first started to go there, everybody was like, you're predominantly working with pet dogs, and you work with a lot of pit bulls and aggressions. Why are you going to see this guy? He's doing sport and everything. And they had no idea that it's how dogs learn, and it's everything. It's competing reinforcers, and he's just the king of all of these things. And everything that I learned go into his stuff. Early on, I went to IPO things. And came home and was having unbelievable results with pit bulls.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's how you train dogs. And once again, it's that approach. It's a very different approach. And once you can understand the approach, it's really conceptual, and you can do anything. You can train any kind of dog. I'm thoroughly convinced that I can train any dog to do anything right now. I'm not saying that I could go win the worlds or that kind of stuff, but you give me a dog and you say, hey, I would like this dog to be able to do this. I can get it done. Right. If it's possible. But so this whole belief that it's just he's a sport dog guy, man. I'm doing pets. You're doing pets, right?
Yeah, and I think that's going to be proven over time with the more people that take the course from all facets of dog training. I think the proof, just like with him, just like with you, I think the proof's going to be in the pudding. I think that people who take this course are going to excel at whatever kind of dog training they do, and then people are going to see, okay, this isn't just sport dog training or working with Malinois or whatever. I mean, people will see.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know exactly, but there's most of the people in the course are pets.
Mm-hmm.
They're either professionals with pets, or they own pets.
Right.
We've had quite a few come through the course that just couldn't train their own dog.
Mm-hmm.
They paid people money and they couldn't get it done, and they came through the course and they trained their own dog. Trainers couldn't do. They hired.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
and I mean, you see that, and it's incredible to see that. So
it is.
Anything else? I'm tired.
No.
I'm getting old.
Yeah, man. No, I'm good with this. If anybody's on the fence about the course, just do it. You won't regret it. I know it's such a cliche thing to say, but I would have signed up for and paid for the course 10 times over to get what I got out of it. No questions asked. So
yeah, it's worth a lot more money than he charges. And some people, they look at the price and they're like, that's a lot of money relative to what?
Right.
If you train dogs professionally, and you think that's a lot of money and you can't afford that, you really need the course.
Yeah. And
right?
that was me.
Because you're going to go through the course and you're not going to, you're not going to be looking at that price and be like, man, I'm struggling to afford that. Right. You're going to get through this course and you're going to put yourself into a position that you don't have to struggle to pay that kind of money anymore.
Exactly.
And that's what this is all about. This is about the dogs. This is about trainers being able to finally have a decent life too. There's trainers out there struggling, and man, you don't have to. You really don't have to. The qualifications that I have now, what I can do with dogs, my phone rings off the hook.
Right.
And I, they see my stuff. They know about me. I talk to them, I give them the price, and they say done.
And you don't have to be nervous about what kind of person is going to call you with what kind of dog, right? Some trainers, it's like this dog and that dog and whatever. That's fine. But if this person calls me with this problem, I don't know what to do. But you don't have to worry about that anymore. Yeah,
you're always going to get people that want something for free, and I mean that's just part of life. So you're not going to cut that out completely. But what I mean, man, I'm booked, and the phone just rings, and people think that Ivan Balabanov, having that name behind you, doesn't mean much. Let me tell you something, it does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People Google, people know, and you're certified by the 2-time world champion, and they go Google this guy, and man, it means something. It means something.
I had a consultation yesterday, and towards the end of it, the gentleman said that's why he ended up going with me, is because he looked up Ivan's stuff after he was looking at mine, and he was like, oh, there you go. That's what we need. So
I had some people message him because they're shopping around and this and that, and they messaged him and they're like, what's up with this guy? And I don't know what Ivan said, but I got the dog.
Nice.
Right. So it means something,
It does,
and you're not going to get certification with him if you don't know this stuff.
Right.
You're not. You're just not. I mean, the not everyone passes this course. You're not going to pay the money and get certified. So that's another thing. If you think that, don't do the course. You're gonna study. You're gonna go through this. You're gonna have to know this stuff. The test is not easy. And if you don't know this stuff, you'll fail. So if you're just a slouch and you think you're gonna pay your money and get Ivan's name, you're not getting it.
Yeah, it's hard work, but you'll be thankful that you did the work once it's over.
Yeah, excellent, man. So cool. Great talk, and I hope some people listening to this, even if it gets you to look into the course, man. I can't say more about the course and Ivan in general. He's a a hell of a guy. So, all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks,
All right,
man.
I
Talk to you
appreciate
later.
it. Thanks, Matt.